Okay, so Tsunami, they're going to be banning out the Samuel. Guys, by the way, Burrito is not a real vote. We will not be counting those votes or showing you how many votes go towards Burritos.
Yeah, but I might watch the VOD and count them myself. Just so we have real stats. All right, here we go. It's a Celeste banned out. Just classic Snow Avalanche things here. Just going to take that Celeste off the board.
That's a weird one. I don't know. I feel like you're leaving open a lot of power here.
Well, Samuel's banned out. You ban out the Celeste, and so essentially Scarf's the last really long-range mage poke that you have other than your CP Saw.
Or CP Baron.
Or a Lyra.
I can dream. Lyra's pretty good. I mean, maybe if they play her in core, for example. Does have a lot of long-range poke.
Yeah, it's just not the strongest right now. Let's see if they go that route, or if Avalanche are just kind of taking one of these wild ban stabs here.
I want them to play something crazy. That's always the most entertaining Avalanche.
Yeah, it's the best. Even though they've been crazy, they still haven't gotten into like super wild things. And you know what I'm curious? I feel like Tsunami, or these are one of the teams that where I might see a pedal come out of, but we haven't seen that.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? I mean, I guess Look at Me is the player you really would have expected to be running it consistently, and he is not playing on the team anymore.
Where's your influence on the team, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess Bong Mabu could be a pedal player.
Bong Mabu is probably the best pedal player we've never heard of.
When he uses that trampoline, we can be like, Bing Bong.
Bing Bong's his way out of there.
Bonging his way all over the map.
Mabu who'll be able to get in on this engage. I don't know. We'll keep going. Kestrel Lance to pick up pretty strong things thus far out of Avalanche.
Yes, but Sky might be the answer here for Snow Tsunami. Sorry, Scarf. And you were talking about Scarf earlier on.
Yeah, Scarf's the last answer. Well, I mean, we still have the CP Slaw in there, but as far as your classic long-range mages, and right now Tsunami's setting up with a very strong poke comp.
They are. I mean, how would you round it out, though, to really accomplish that goal?
I honestly feel like you could just go CP Saw right here.
In the jungle?
And the Sky will be fine. She's a little bit shorter range, but still high firepower. We'll see if they decide to go like that Weapon Sky route. That's probably what they do. You could run it however you want, but it's so hard to engage onto this composition. They're poking you down before you can even get on top of them. If you chase, they drop Bright Bulwark and kite back. Otherwise, they're poking, moving forward, they're sieging, and healing with Lyra.
I want to see that Weapon Scarf. Deliver, Tsunami. All right, Taka, final pick. Taka into
awkward
Lyra.
silence.
Tsunami, their sister team, who's been performing arguably a little worse than Snow Avalanche recently, can take the win home and move forward to day 2 for the first time in this split. Let's pass it on over to Excoundrel and Cyber Owl.
Thank you so much, AJ and Humanist. So I'm Cyber Owl, joined by Excoundrel. I can't even pronounce my own name right.
Zorro Owl.
Zorro Owl. I think after hearing Bong Mabu so much, my brain is just turned to mush right now.
Bong Mabu is the best name.
That's a glorious name.
You're gonna have so much fun. I'm envious of you.
I'm only imagining how it's gonna be to say the name during team fights. It's gonna be really interesting. So
Bong Mabu bangs the boo on the 26 do. I don't know, something like that. Just make some rhymes.
Oh god, I wish I was quick-witted enough that I could actually do that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I wish I was the same, instead of just saying random words.
Which composition do you actually favor in this regard? In this game, I kind of actually favor Snow Tsunami just because they have so much lockdown, and they can deny Taka, they can deny Lance with that Lyra alone.
Yeah, Lyra is going to be the key here for Snow Tsunami. But, you know, I have seen Kenty6 Taka a lot throughout the European splits. He is pretty solid on this particular hero. And if there's anyone that's going to be able to deal with a Scarf or a Sky, you do want to have Taka, especially with maybe some early tension boat on hit builds coming up from him. But Kenty6 was, I believe, the person who went Stormcrown into full Crystal Power Taka, and that was pretty powerful in its own right.
So it's going to be interesting to see if he actually opts to go for that route again. We do see him starting out with a Swift Shooter as well as an Oak Heart. That's... I mean, I could see it building towards the Stormcrown. Just a little interesting to see him actually just immediately get that Oak Heart rather than getting maybe Boots. But now he has that Stormguard banner, so it should be a pretty easy build path for him. And I have to raise the question: did you see that slight engagement that happened in the upper part of the jungle on the side of Snow Tsunami?
I didn't catch it entirely.
So Kenty6 was trying to steal away Bong Mabu's jungle. You don't steal Bong Mabu's jungle. And for both instances where he tried to take away the camp, Vainglory was actually able to steal it away in his favor right back. Because over the wall, he threw down a forward barrage when Kentisik and Bosch was able to go on the tree. But Vainglory actually getting caught a bit there. Kentisik eating up quite a damage to it from that forward barrage. And PT Lamb not able to return a whole lot of damage on the Scarf, but it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening as far as this heavy skill composition coming out of Snow Tsunami. And not going to be able to catch anybody out here.
They're kind of committing 2 versus 3, which is kind of allowing Snow Tsunami to just chunk a load of range damage in, and Kentisic's not able to do much with it yet. He does look like he's going towards Storm Crown first, by the way, so not going to go for what appears to be Tension Bow first. He's going to go for the Storm Crown. So that Swift Shooter fits nicely with that Storm Guard banner, because it allows you to clear a little bit easier with that on-hit damage to jungle camps.
Right.
Snow Tsunami are just trying to farm up as much as possible right now. PT Lamb at 32 farm, just a little bit behind Voldemar, and it looks like Bongmaboo, they're in that Treant away, will keep himself at a kind of healthy CS at this point. Kentisic's now going to be going 1 versus 1. Bongmaboo, he's trying to make it happen.
Yeah, but Kentisik going to be able to go use his Kaku to completely get out of there. Waldemar eating a lot of damage there from PT Lamb, but now they're focusing their attention onto this Lance. A questionable decision there, but Bongmaboo is now here, but there's just nothing to be had here on the side of Snow Tsunami, as Snow Avalanche just completely just rotate away. Just go back to the jungle, go back to the base. That's it. There's no fight left for you to be had there for Snow Tsunami to try and get something out of, so they just go right back to farming. I feel like that's going to end up being the case.
The best thing you can do. It looks like Kentisik going towards the Storm Crown. He's picked up some cooldown reduction as well. So yeah, like we said, that is the first item of choice for him. Waldemar has picked up a little bit of critical strike. And he's going to be finishing off that Sorrow Blade ASAP. It looks like it's going to be PT Lamb either Shatterglass or while he gets rooted, but they can't finish him off, oddly enough.
Yeah, especially with the Lyra there, so Siska's just going to be healing up PT Lamb the moment that they actually try and force something out. Surprised that not actually healing him just yet. There we go. There it is.
Yeah, they are just going to heal PT Lamb back up here as Waldemar. Trying to stay away as far as possible from this Scarf in lane thus far. Bongmaboo, he's gone Weapon Power Sky, and they're going to be able to potentially kill off Voldemar.
That's just a lot of damage coming in from that forward barrage, and just that last basic attack from PT Lamb after already having had the Spitfire damage taking them down. That was just enough for Snow Tsunami to pick up first blood. As we could see, a lot of damage being returned onto PT Lamb, but they're not going to be able to chase any further into Snow Tsunami, running the risk of getting taken down by that heavy weapon power Sky. Level 6 now as well. So Bongmaboo pretty much the strongest on the board right now. Maybe Kentisik could even out that damage as far as like, oh, I'm stronger, no, I'm stronger, just because he has that Storm Crown finished.
Well, they do manage to pick up a kill onto Bongmaboo, so the god is mortal after all. Or the bongos will be raining at his funeral.
So, with that, the first turn falls in favor of Snow Avalanche. With the way this game has gone thus far, I still feel like Snow Tsunami have the better, just a better composition scaling into the late game. They have the Scarf, they have the Sky, and they have Lyra, who can just pretty much negate Taka, negate Lance when they try to get in onto either PT Lamb or onto Bongmaboo. But if they're able to keep getting catches like the way they just catched out Bongmaboo there, it should be fairly difficult for Snow Tsunami to try and force those advantages in their favor.
I think the one big difference we need to keep an eye on here is the farm differential that is opening up between Kentisik and Bongmaboo, because that is almost 10 to 12 right now, and that's only going to get further the more that Snow Tsunami get pushed back because they've already lost this first tier turret. I think jungle control, especially for Bongmaboo, is going to be super important.
But what exactly can he do to really start controlling his jungle at this point? All he's been able to take consistently are his back jungle. So he's at least getting some gold in his pocket, but Kentisik and Waldemar have been consistently taking their fronts. And it just seems like it's a bit rough for Snow Tsunami to try and push away from that back part of their jungle. We do see an engagement onto Bongmaboo, and that Blight Bulwark stopping the X-Retsu coming in from Kentisik. And Waldemar doing a lot of damage there to PT Lamb, but Snow Tsunami able to go ahead and just collect their bearings and just stay safe under the turret. Forward barrage comes out from Bong Mabu, but it's not going to connect onto anybody. A Snow Avalanche now looking to maybe try and get a pick here, starting up that minion mine.
Yeah, the issue for Snow Tsunami right now is that their jungle's slowly being crunched away from them, and that's going to limit Bong Mabu's gold income. You know, and Bong Mabu can't be pretty happy about that. You know, he wants to make sure his gold income is high enough to start hitting Breaking Point as an item next, you would imagine. He's already picked up the Sorrow Blade, but really does need that double item spike. And actually now Bong Mabu caught out.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of damage with that forward barrage onto Gensuzik. There's the Sigil healing him up. Death from above lands, but it's not going to really do all that much. Waldemar doing so much damage just on basic attacks, able to crit twice onto Bong Mabu. And Snow Tsunami now a bit on the back foot here, 2,000 gold in favor of Snow Avalanche. We do see an Impale being used by the Lance. Waldemar eating a bit of damage from that forward barrage, but just not too much can be done here on either side. It's a lot of peel versus a lot of engage, and a lot of disengage versus a lot of damage.
Gold payout collected.
Waiting on vote results which are coming through. It is 14%, I believe, to Tsunami, if I heard that correctly. I might have heard that incorrectly though, Cyber. You can
No,
you can
I believe that was correct.
Oh, I
And then
was correct.
And then 65, I believe it was to Avalanche. It just, Jesus
wait.
Christ.
65 to Avalanche, 14 to Tsunami. Wait a second, that must mean there is a small percentage for Burrito.
I blame Humanist for that. He got everybody addicted to burritos now.
Because that doesn't add up to
Everything posts on
100,
Twitter.
So that means that, well, let's just figure it out. 16. That must mean that 21% of people think that a burrito is more likely to win than Snow Tsunami.
I mean, burritos are amazing, so I wouldn't put it past the burrito to win.
So you say you put a burrito on top of a Vainglory game. You know, get your iPhone, your whatever phone you use out, put a burrito on top. It's more likely to win than Snow Tsunami.
It's not just any burrito. You have to go specifically to Chipotle, sit there with their Wi-Fi, put your iPad or phone down, and just slap the burrito right on top of it. You'll instantly win.
Other burritos are available. But no, I agree. You know, I think that's maybe doing a disservice to Snow Tsunami. Maybe they should rename themselves Snow Burrito, and then, you know, they give themselves a real chance. I think that goes quite nicely with the name Bong Mabu. I would totally get behind that team. That would be my number one team right there.
That would be glorious. So, with the way this game has gone so far, question is, are they going to be able to find the magical burrito and take the win on the side of Snow Tsunami? Because right now, Snow Avalanche are just taking all of the advantages here. Bong Mabu is extremely far behind in the jungle. Waldemar is a little bit ahead in CS compared to PT Lamb. But just the difference as far as pressure is concerned, Snow Tsunami have not been able to leave their side of the map whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's going to prove mainly an issue to Bong Mabu because he needs the gold income right now. You know, they're either going to have to be sharing lane farm, which is going to be slightly constricting what PT Lamb can do, or they just allow Bong Mabu to sit on this singular Sorrow Blade and see what he can do with it. And this is just very good pressure by Snow Avalanche right now because it is restricting one of the gold incomes for this double carry composition, which is, again, a good way to hamper it and put them to a point where they can't fight you.
And right now, you see, they can't even really trade all that well because there's just so much damage on the side of Snow Avalanche that if they do end up stationary just for a second, they eat so much damage or run the risk of getting hit with an Impale. A lot of damage going on to Waldemar, though, with those Spitfires and forward barrage. Taken down to half HP, forcing him to just go right back to the jungle and heal up on the Treant, as they have been consistently doing. Once it spawns.
Heal up on that Treant, steal away your opponent's resources. And Snow Tsunami is going to mean that they need even more time to try and get themselves back into this game. And Snow Avalanche, they've got no mercy for their sister team. They've already qualified right now, and they are really putting on the pressure. They're saying, Snow Tsunami, if you want to make it to tomorrow, if you want to give yourselves a chance to avoid relegation matches, you have to beat this fair and square.
And honestly, I still feel like their composition could do so well. It's just that they're so far behind in gold.
Yeah, they
As
are.
the composition goes, it's just, I feel it's still a better late game composition, but it looks like we might see a potential engagement. No Impale onto PT Lamb, but a lot of damage going in from Bong Mabu with that forward barrage. Kentusik just waiting in the wings, looking for the opportunity to go in with that X-Retsu, but not going to be able to find it. and we're just seeing a bit of damage being thrown down by Snow Tsunami, and it just basically tickling Snow Avalanche at this point. Another Impale missing Bong Mabu. A lot of damage going down onto that Lance with that Spitfire Goop combo, and Kentusik now getting hit by Bong Mabu. Just a little bit of trading. That's all it's been thus far for the last, I think, 6 minutes. Only 2 kills have happened in 13 minutes.
I think this is because Snow Tsunami are just letting Snow Avalanche make these trades, then heal up off that Treant. Make the trades, heal up off the Treant. Go back, take the jungle, come back and make trades, heal up off the Treant. This has been the rotation. It's a slow grind to a superior advantage for Snow Avalanche. And they've even managed to pick out the immense payout too. So, this rotation will work time and time again because you're just, restricting that gold income from Snow Tsunami. But you can't help but feel that with the addition of ambient gold, eventually, they'll get to a point where Snow Tsunami have got enough damage to contest, but they just don't have that right now.
And we do see Snow Avalanche now actually starting to do some damage to that turret. Waldemar eating a bit of damage there from Sosiska, gets caught with that Blight Bulwark, and Kentusa getting hit with that Spitfire. But you can see just the damage is minuscule at this point coming out of Snow Tsunami because they can't commit to a full engagement. They can't actually take out Waldemar from the backline. They can't take out Kentusik because he's not going in at random. He's just farming it up and getting more gold in his pocket until they get too far forward.
Well, and by the way, he's going that Crystal Power build. I talked about Kentusik was the only one that I'd seen go Stormcrown into Crystal Power build.
Yep.
Kentusik's doing it, and this is what I really like because it was the build that made Taka stronger against single target burst. He was for targets like Scarf or targets like Sky. It meant that he could actually burst them out following the Stormcrown.
And right now, it seems like he's just waiting for the opportunity to really show off why he chose this route. And it's just another gold mine being taken here in favor of Snow Avalanche. In only 20 seconds, Kraken's going to spawn. And I have to reiterate this point. Only 2 kills!
Well, it's a calculated game from Avalanche. That's for sure.
Definitely.
I think they're waiting to that point where maybe Kentusik picks up another tier 3 item. They're worried about making dives happen because, you one play into PT Lamb under turret and Bright Bulwark coming through, and you do kind of, receive a massive spanner in the works. Snow Tsunami are going to have to react now, though, because Kraken is up and Kraken has been started.
Yeah, and this is going to be a very quick Kraken on top of that. Look how much damage it's taking.
Or do they need to react?
Evidently, I suppose they don't think they need to.
Evidently not.
So, another Kraken taken pretty much for free. And 4,500 gold in favor of Snow Avalanche right now. Maybe with the Kraken now pushing alongside them, they'll actually start looking to pull the trigger for that fight. But it remains to be seen if Snow Avalanche are really going to try and commit against Snow Tsunami. They pretty much have to wait for Blight Bulwark to be used. Once it's used, that's pretty much an easy go for a fight. And the Impale lands on the PT
Scarf, by the way, we've got an engage.
And wow, a lot of damage going down onto Kentusik. He's going to try and get away there. Dragon's Breath gets channeled in full, but it's not going to connect onto anybody. And there goes the Lance, landing an Impale onto Bong Mabu. Right now, Waldemar and Kentusik eating those Scout Trap damages. And just, they're focusing down the Kraken. And Snow Avalanche can't even really push too far forward. Waldemar just trying to help the Kraken take the turret. As you can see, that Lance getting stopped by that Bright Bulwark. And there's Kentusik, you're in a really bad spot. But he's able to keep himself alive, but just barely. Meanwhile, on the other side, we do see PT Lamb taking down Waldemar. 1 kill going over to Snow Tsunami. Finally, somebody actually dying. And the Kraken is going to get taken down. That's another 1,500 gold going over in favor of Snow Tsunami. Starting to close that gold gap a little bit.
Yeah, the gold gap is one thing, but the fact you've now got a 3-item Scarf is the other thing. You've got this late-game Scarf, and you've got the peel for him. Is this a case of maybe Snow Avalanche didn't pull the trigger quick enough?
Yeah, at this point, it just kind of seems like Snow Tsunami, the game is pretty much hinging on PT Lamb, on this Scarf. If he's able to kill someone, I feel like they actually run the advantage of being able to actually take a fight in their favor. But at the same time, you have to worry about Kentusik with this Crystal Power Taka just jumping right onto that Scarf and bursting him down before he can even get anything channeled, so... that it's a real gamble on the side of Snow Tsunami to try and force fights, but they have to at this point, otherwise they're just going to go right back to that very long stall where they're not getting that much gold.
Absolutely, and the more time you give to PT Lam and gang, the more time they're going to have to realize how they need to beat you in team fights, get to a point where their damage output is just greater than yours. But here comes Avalanche, they're looking for a engage.
And they're getting a nice amount of damage onto the Lance, but there's Kentusa going right in onto PT Lam. He's taking him so low. The Dragon's Breath is being channeled and it's being used. Bangmabu in the front of this fight doing so much damage. It's going to be the first one to fall in the fight is Bosch. And it's going to be Kentusik eating a bit of damage there as well. Now on the back foot here, Waldemar still sitting there in the lane, but Snow Tsunami, it looks like they're finally feeling confidence in their composition. PT Lam eating a bunch of damage there from Waldemar. And Kentusik
that
gets stopped by the Bright Bulwark. And that X-Retsu just completely gets cancelled. That is just a real slap in the face for the Taka player.
Oh, absolutely. Kentusik super upset that he wasn't able to find that killing blow onto Sisiska there. And actually, or even on PT Lam, this is an awkward situation for Snow Avalanche because they had the biggest opportunity ever to just stranglehold their sister team out of a win here, and now it looks like the Snow Tsunami lineup with that better late game composition seem to be coming back into it. But it looks like Kraken again has been started by Snow Avalanche, and Snow Tsunami aren't going to give this one up.
And they're just looking for the opportunity to poke them out. Because No Tsunami right now know that if they try to go for a full frontal engagement, Kentusik is just going to jump right onto PT Lam. And I just want to take a look at something. So Siska only has a Fountain of Renewal and a Contraption. There is no Crucible, there isn't a lot of defenses being built on that Lyra. Just no gold in her pocket. So it's going to be on Snow Tsunami to really try and play around that and focus on keeping PT Lam alive as long as possible. Bright Bulwark was just now used, so right now would be the opportune time for Kentusik to go in. And exactly that happens, and that's PT Lam deleted off of the fold. Bangmabu now the new target here for Kentusik. There's another X-Retsu. Is he going to catch him with that Kaiten? Yes, he does. One more hit, and it's going to be another kill going over to Kentusik. So Siska going to be the only one alive here from Snow Tsunami. And Snow Avalanche looking to really push their advantages here. Starting to take that turret down, and so much damage being dealt to it. So Siska can't really defend this turret on his own. Waldemar eating a bunch of damage there, blocks out some of it, and it's going to be another turret taken down in favor of Snow Avalanche. They're looking to end the game. Only 6 kills have happened this game, and it's going to be the game going over to Snow Avalanche at 20 minutes in. Honestly, a bit boring.
Yeah, maybe. Calculated, you could say, from Snow Avalanche. Pushing it a little bit too far, you could say, from Snow Avalanche. But eventually, they do reflex block it. Didn't get it crucibled. I don't think there was a crucible on Sisiska, so that wasn't even an option. So, you know, if that happens, that happens. That's
from their opponents, also showing maybe they don't want to play it.
That's a very medium-handed ban. I feel like Lance has been seen a lot, has done a lot of work, but at the same time, because it is being picked so much, we are seeing it lose a fair amount as well. Tsunami, they're thinking Samuel, the target here. Baron is left open, though.
Yeah, and the question is, has Waldemar practiced his Baron? Because he was one of the first Baron players
One
we
would
saw.
hope so.
Who wasn't executing on that high of a level. But Lyra's left open. She's going to be locked in here. Of course, she adds so much to the table. One of the things I think is the best is that you put so much pressure on the lane that it really allows for one-on-ones in the jungle. So maybe that's something that Avalanche tried to draft here.
That seems like something they could afford to do as well. I mean, Kentusik, again, from last game perspective, seemed like they had, or he had rather, the advantage over Bangmabu, so maybe he can just pick something that allows him to fight. Tsunami, they're going to open up their draft with a Kestrel. They got one more pick in this rotation. Kestrel's flexible, you know, could go lane or jungle. Where would you like to see it going on the side of Tsunami?
Well, for Tsunami, it looks like they're going to go with the Adagio. Now, where they actually put this Adagio is a bit of a wild card for me. Well, it probably goes to lane, and then you get Kestrel into the jungle. This very clearly spells that Avalanche can pick up a Scarf. I would love to see Scarf picked up here. I think she actually deals with both the Kestrel and the Adagio very well. And paired up with Lyra, it's a very strong combo. You can drop that Sigil right under your Scarf, give that speed boost to chase people down, get them out of harm's way. And it looks like maybe that's what they're going to go for here.
I think it makes sense. Waldemar is a very strong Scarf player, too. He showed that at the Summer Championships, for example. So Avalanche doing smart things so far. They got one more ban, or rather one more pick, to grab for themselves here as their final one before Tsunami gets a chance to answer. Rounding out the composition, they need their jungler still. That's the spot.
I think a Glaive would actually look really strong here for them.
Interesting. Okay, I mean, we've seen Glaive have very mixed results and very few results total so far. Oh boy.
I don't know what's happening, but I like it.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised by that one, but I do think it's cool.
Well, it is snow versus snow.
It is snow versus snow.
These guys as cool as ice. How cool?
The real question
cool.
is, what are the odds that the burrito takes this?
Well, honestly, we're not gonna lie about this. The burrito got 21% of the votes, so I just want to give a shout out to Twitch chat. You guys are on point. You're perfect.
Maybe
She should be able to hold her own, assuming you have a Lyra. It's going to be the Core Catherine. This is going to be great into the Kestrel.
All right, we're on the fold for Snow Avalanche versus Snow Tsunami. This is Game 3 of the series. For the call, it's Scoundrel and Cyberel.
Thank you so much, AJ and Humanist. So we're going to be looking to see who's going to take the victory in game number 3 between Snow Avalanche, Snow Tsunami, and the Burrito. So right now, Scoundrel, which team composition do you favor? I'd like to see how well this composition out of Snow Avalanche ends up playing out.
This is a core Catherine, which again, Humanist was talking about here. Totally think it has merit. Like, if you can get a core Catherine and rolling, if you can get her, like aftershock build, just go all in. I mean, you have a double CP. Maybe you could even potentially run her weapon power, and it kind of makes sense that if you can actually get onto PT Lam or Sisiska, you can actually provide most of the pain yourself instead of relying on somebody else to do it for you. But regardless, I still think Snow Tsunami have a very solid composition. I'm not a big fan of Rome Adagio, if I'm completely honest, but let's see how it works out.
And it seems like Snow Avalanche actually kind of bit on the back foot here, as we did see a very early recall there from Kentusik, and a lot of pressure being had by Snow Tsunami into the Lyra and Scar. But we do see a bit of damage being returned onto this Lyra. It's going to be PT Lam looking to try and get the kill. Is he going to get it? Is the question. A couple basic attacks. Forward Barrage goes out. No, he is not. No kill going over to PT Lam. A nice juke there by Bosch. And it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening between Snow Avalanche and Tsunami, as we do see a lot of lane pressure being had by Snow Tsunami here.
A lot of lane pressure by Snow Tsunami, putting huge amounts of damage down onto Bastion specifically. Still no kills thus far. Voldemar doing his best to try and farm and clear the waves from the side. Not getting the maximum use of his Spitfire there, but it does try and draw as much aggro as possible before it gets towards that turret. That's just what he's doing, trying to protect the turret as much as possible. And Snow Tsunami looks like it's probably going to be Crystal Power, Sky, and obviously Weapon Power. Bong Babu on the Kestrel, who is just trying to farm as much as possible, trying to remedy the issue that you had last game as Bastion oversteps slightly.
Oh, and Bastion is going to get taken down by Sosiska with that basic attack. PT Lam now dealing a lot of damage, rather, to Waldemar with that forward barrage. As you can see, Snow Tsunami now really starting to come into their own here in this lane pressure. One kill in their favor, as it was first blood. And it's interesting to see what's been going on with this Catherine, because rather than actually opting to go down towards the jungle shop, just recall after recall after recall, just playing it super safe.
Absolutely. Also, the fact that she's going towards on-hit build, so this could be a Stormguard or Stormcrown into Aftershock build for the Catherine, which would give her lots of cooldown reduction and have the ability to have a massive impact if she does manage to land a Merciless Pursuit, for instance. So I quite like where this is going. I'd like to follow this one up here, Cyberel.
Likewise, it's going to be something to watch, especially how well it scales into the mid and late game. If Kentusik is able to get in onto Bong Babu with that Catherine, Bong Babu is dead, plain and simple. But Waldemar eating a bunch of damage there from PT Lam with that forward barrage. So Siska trading nicely with Waldemar and Bastion, but there's not a whole lot that Snow Avalanche can really do to deal with this pressure just yet. Waldemar isn't at that point where he's playing Scarf and he's just going to be able to clear these waves almost instantly. So much damage onto Bastion, but we do see Kentusik rotating up from the jungle, taking a lot of damage in return as well. Bangbabu looks nearly take him out, but so Siska with the last basic attack gets the kill, and the forward barrage from PT Lam securing the kill onto Waldemar as well. That's 2 kills going over to Snow Tsunami as they look to pressure down the turret.
One of the main issues I see with this particular composition for Snow Avalanche is if Frostburn is the item of choice for PT Lamb, you are not only limiting the Catherine, but you're limiting one of the core carries for Snow Avalanche, and that's going to prove to be a fairly significant issue, I think, as this game strives onwards. It really depends if that Frostburn is going to be the item of choice here.
And if it is, I feel like Snow Tsunami are going to really start trying to go into Ken26 jungle and basically force him out of as much gold as possible. As you can see, they've slowly been doing that. Bongmabu has been taking away some of his camps, as well as PT Lamb, and right now it's just gold advantages in favor of Snow Tsunami. Just in general, there's a CS advantage on both sides, and or rather on both the jungler and the carry and lane carry, but with the way this game has gone, it's going to be a question as to whether or not this Catherine is going to pay dividends, because Waldemar is just going to scale up. He's Scarf, that's what Scarf does. And Bashan on this Lyra is just going to be a nuisance for PT Lamb if he tries to go in with a Suri Strike. But Kentusik eating so much damage there, and he's going to be forced to get that heal from Bashan. And we do see him going in yet again. There's a bit of damage onto Waldemar with that forward barrage. So Siska eating damage from that turret. But you see how much damage Bongmabu is putting out on this Kestrel and just poking out everybody on the side of Snow Avalanche, and just going to be walking away back down towards the jungle. He's level 7 to Kentusik's level 5, though.
One of the big issues I see personally right now for Snow Avalanche is going to be that you try to run at Bongmabu. It's very obvious with the Merciless Pursuit. He's just going to active camo. You try to run at PT Lamb, he can Suri Strike away, and if he gets Frostburn, it's going to be even harder. You're limiting, really severely limiting options right now for Snow Tsunamis to be able to, for Snow Avalanche to be able to get onto the carries of Snow Tsunami. This core Catherine, while in essence seems really solid, it's going to be finding that first attack from Merciless Pursuit that's going to be the real issue for them.
I mean, with the Lyra, once she has the portal, it could be a little bit easier. But even then, you still have to make sure that your attacks don't get reflex block, or they're just not able to get out away from you after the Bright Bulwark is used. Oh god, I'm spitting everywhere. And there's the Blast Tremor being... I know, right? It's just a beautiful picture to paint for you. A Blast Tremor just got used by Kentusik there. However, no follow-up whatsoever on the side of Snow Avalanche. There's just no room to pressure into Snow Tsunami here. You can see the wave being pushed ever so slightly, but we do see a nice amount of damage going down from PT Lamb onto Bashan. He's getting taken so low, not going to get taken out though. One shot, one kill is available for Bongmabu. So the question is he going to pull that trigger to try and take out that level 5 Lyra? Heals come out from Snow Avalanche, so they're still able to keep themselves alive and healthy. But we see Kentusik going in with them Merciless Pursuit to try and chase them down. Not going to be connecting onto anybody. But right now, Snow Tsunami have all the advantages.
So, as we go, Snow Avalanche pushing towards the turret. They're trying to siege as much as possible. This is wave clear coming through. So, oh, wow, PT Lamb making the engage happen.
And he's doing a lot of damage to that Lyra. Waldemar eating so much damage as well. Death from Buff comes down. It's not going to connect onto anybody. Snow Avalanche able to keep themselves alive and under the safety of their turret. So Snow Tsunami looking to try and pressure the lane in towards Snow Avalanche. Maybe going to be looking for another engage, as there is no Blast Tremor yet for another 5 seconds. So they do have the option to go ahead and try and force something to happen here. But Waldemar eating a bunch of damage there from PT Lamb, and Bongmabu forced to recall actually, as the Lyra doesn't have all that much energy here. Only 3 kills have gone through so far in this game, all 3 going over to Snow Tsunami, and another engagement by Kentusik onto PT Lamb, but you can see how much damage is being returned to him at the same time, despite the fact that he throws up his shield. Oh, and PT Lamb getting caught there with that Merciless Pursuit. The Fountain gets used. However, it's going to be the Death from Above, stopping Waldemar and Bashan in their tracks. Kentusik getting a bunch of damage from Bongmabu, and he comes in from the jungle, securing the kill. That's going to be another kill going over to Snow Tsunami. 1 shot, 1 kill goes out, not going to connect onto anybody. Snow Avalanche just got a little too over-aggressive there. And it's unfortunate there for that Catherine, just went too far forward.
Absolutely. One of the major issues right now for Snow Tsunami is, again, you have no way of delivering this Catherine's damage, and they can't just defend turrets because their poke is just probably inferior at this point in the game, especially without Scarf having multiple items. You're going to really struggle against the forward barrage and the glimmer shots coming out, but they're going for a massive engage.
And they do get the stun onto Bongmabu. Bongmabu eating a ton of damage here from Bashin, but should be able to get away safely. As you can see, running towards his team. So Siska and PT Lamb are just outputting so much damage right now, really deterring Snow Avalanche from pushing any further forward to try and go through these fights. Another stun from Kentusik onto Siska this time. And just not a lot of damage being held on the side of Snow Avalanche. As you can see, Snow Tsunami doing a really good job making sure that they're not pushing themselves too far forward.
Absolutely. No Tsunami now, they see an opportunity to go and take this turret, so they're going to try and clear this wave as quickly as possible. Are we going to see Snow Avalanche react? Yes, we are, because it's a flying dragon.
And Bongmabu eating so much damage there. A beautiful 3-man camo stun to stun up both all Kentusik, Bashin, and Waldemar. Another fountain gets used by the side of Snow Tsunami to keep Bongmabu alive, but a lot of damage being returned to Snow Avalanche after that very good engage, all things considered, but Waldemar doing such a good job poking out Bongmabu there. As you can see, going to be forced to recall. Bashin going to try and get the damage to secure the kill. Not quite going to be close enough to do so. However, on the other side of the jungle, we do see PT Lamb trying to return some damage onto Waldemar and Kentusik. Fountain gets used by Bashin. However, PT Lamb is by himself. Forward barrage goes out, doing so much damage onto Waldemar, but it's not going to be enough. Death from above comes down, and it's not going to secure any kills. That's going to be Waldemar securing the kill onto PT Lamb. First kill going over to Snow Avalanche.
So PT Lamb decided that it was more important to clear the jungle than it was to try and prevent his team from getting sieged under turret, which meant he got isolated as he tried to make a flank play. And unfortunately, that spelt his doom. Gotta say, big props to Siska's Gift of Fires. They've been single-handedly keeping Bongmabu alive throughout the remainder of these fights. If that hadn't been there, Bongmabu would have died at least on 3 occasions at this point. And now Snow Avalanche seems to have found an opportunity to get back in, but look at that damage that Bashin was taking right there from Bongmabu.
Yes, so much damage coming out of this Kestrel right now, sitting on that breaking point as well as the Sorrow Blade. Bongmabu looking to try and get some damage in onto Waldemar, but eats a Spitfire to the face for his troubles. And just not a lot that Snow Tsunami can do right now, especially now that Waldemar is getting a bit stronger on that Scarf. Consistently landing that poke with a Spitfire, and we do see another chase in with that Catherine. Bashin eating so much damage alongside Waldemar. There's the first adjustment being popped. Not going to connect onto anybody. One shot, one kill goes out as well. Not going to hit anybody either. And Snow Avalanche are all sitting super low right now. There's the heal coming out from that Lyra, but the forward barrage from PT Lamb forcing him to pop it early so that he can keep his team alive. Meanwhile, Kentusik going to be stunning up Bongmabu. Yet again, Blast Tremor comes out. The Dragon's Breath is being channeled as well, but it's going to be Kentusik, the first one to fall in this fight. No one from Snow Tsunami really getting taken down from that Dragon's Breath from Waldemar. Bashin trying to poke out back and forth. That turret is just so low. Once the minions start crashing into it, that's going to be an easy turret take in favor of Snow Tsunami. They're trying to keep poking out Waldemar. As you can see, they're just trying to thread the needle around Bashin as Waldemar is just sitting right behind him. The turret is now going to fall, and now they're going to look for the engagement. They're chasing down that little dragon. Are they going to catch him is the question. A lot of damage onto Bashin. Bashin goes down. They're looking for the kill onto the dragon. They do get the kill onto Scarf. That's going to be 2 kills going over to Snow Tsunami. The fountain gets popped. They keep PT Lamb alive. And so long. That fight just went for much longer than it should have. But Kentusik going in onto Bongmabu, eating a bunch of damage there for his troubles as well, but no kill going to be going over to Snow Tsunami. 7 kills to 1 in their favor.
Absolutely, that's a good siege. That felt like that siege could have lasted the entire game, Cybral. I was just willfully saying, come on, please just try and get some damage onto that turret. And they finally managed to crack the base, or crack the start of the base for Snow Avalanche. A lot of damage coming out from Bongmabu right now as well. He's got the critical strike starting to ramp up as well. It's a Shatterglass and an Eve of Harvest working towards a Broken Myth for PT Lamb. So, you know, you're hitting some really good, high-impact item spikes that could be really influential as this game progresses. Remember, there is a Frostburn on Voldemort. That's kind of what's stopping this follow-up engage as PT Lamb gets locked up.
PT Lamb got locked up by that Bright Bulwark. It's not going to do all that much, as you can see Bashin eating so much damage just from Bongmabu alone on that Kestrel. And it's just a complete disengage here. Neither team wants to push forward for any other fighting. PT Lamb eats a Spitfire to the face. You can see how much damage these Spitfires are starting to do, especially now that the Frostburn and Eve of Harvest are completed for Waldemar. And another one landing onto Bongmabu this time, back to back actually. And he's just taking so much damage here. We can see a nice Merciless Pursuit being used by Kentusik. Not going to connect onto anybody, though. PT Lamb returning some damage onto that Lyra. But Adagio healing is actually doing wonders here for Snow Tsunami. And it's going to be Vainglory forced to use his active camo to get away from Snow Avalanche. As you can see, they're really focusing down, poking down that Kestrel. Death from above lands onto all 3 members of Snow Avalanche. Beautiful death from above. But no follow-up from the side of Snow Tsunami. Not a lot of energy on this Adagio, and not a lot of health on Bongmabu. And we do see another forward barrage landing from PT Lamb onto Bashin, but you can see it's just a complete disengage here on the side of Snow Tsunami, despite such a beautiful, beautiful death from above.
So a couple of things that I want to note on Cyber. I was fully expecting PT Lamb to pick up a Frostburn, but he hasn't done, which is you kind of meaning that Bashin is actually getting opportunities to follow up and lock people down, and it doesn't look like Frostburn's going to be part of his item kit anytime soon. So they're just not respecting the fact that you do need Frostburn at times to kite against the Catherine. Also, what the Catherine is doing is that because she's got a gold income being core, she is soaking up so much damage. I mean, look, she's 40 creeps behind Bongmabu right now, but she doesn't really need the same level of gold income to have the impact that she wants, because she's just there to run at them and soak damage while she can. And then you just allow Voldemar from the backline to just go to town on the enemy team, and that's kind of what you're seeing, and the reason that Snow Tsunami aren't exactly running away with it, because this game plan is kind of half working for Snow Avalanche right now.
And honestly, if Snow Avalanche are able to get a pick here, that would be a very devastating time for it to happen for Snow Tsunami, especially with Kraken being up at 16 minutes into the game. And Snow Avalanche, despite the fact that, yeah, they're behind 6 kills, they're still relatively close, all things considered. The deficit is not as bad as it was last game for Snow Tsunami.
Absolutely, the deficit is not looking awful at the moment. It's Snow Avalanche definitely have the tools to come back in. I mean, Scarf was one of those heroes that you give him enough time and space will just single-handedly carry the game. You know, there are a few heroes in Vainglory that can do that, and Scarf is one of them. And you can see right now they're going in.
The Dragon's Breath is being channeled, Versa Judgment being channeled as well, but it's going to be stopped. We do see Waldemar doing so much damage onto Sosiska, but no kills being had on either side, just a lot of poke. Waldemar nearly getting taken out with that forward barrage. One shot, one kill comes out, not going to connect onto anybody. And it's going to be PT Lamb trying to return some damage back onto that Scarf. One more hit from that Kestrel would have been enough to secure the kill, but Kentusik doing a really good job trying to mitigate the damage coming out of Bongmabu, and that's Bongmabu falling to the Spitfire of Waldemar. Meanwhile, PT Lamb just trying to run away from Kentusik. He's going to get caught. That's going to be a double kill going over to Waldemar. And they're not going to be able to get the kill onto Sosiska, but this should be a Kraken going over to Snow Avalanche. Such a rough fight for Snow Tsunami. Having gotten caught there, the moment they lost Bongmabu, that fight just completely went south.
Yeah, exactly. You can see what Kentusik is designed to do here. He's not even really designed to be a carry threat. He's designed to be a threat that if you don't respect him, he will do damage. But otherwise, he will just soak enough damage to allow Voldemar to just go crazy. And Voldemar brings a whole element of control with this Frostburn as well. I mean, if you get Dragon's Breath into the multiple members of the team, that actually allows Kentusik to start having an impact, because it slows down the enemy team. Kentusik is unrestricted, remember? There is no Frostburn on PT Lambs. He can run as he pleases. And realistically, the only team-wide controllability that they have is that Verse of Judgment, but that's getting crucibled every single time.
And we do see a stun onto PT Lamb, eating a bit of damage there. We do see a nice Spitfire landing onto him as well. And that's going to be the Blast Tremor. They're going in onto Sosiska. Bashu in the middle of this fight. A lot of damage being thrown down onto PT Lamb, though. Dragon's Breath is being channeled. First, the Judgment goes out, but it does not connect. Neither does the one-shot, one-kill. And now that turret is going to be falling in favor of Snow Avalanche. You can see they're still trying to trade back and forth on the side of Snow Tsunami, but with that Kraken knocking down the doors of their base, it's going to be a question as to whether or not they're going to really start pulling the trigger for that fight to try and go for that re-engage. Waldemar forced out of the fight completely. As you can see, he is so low, but lands a nice bit of poke onto Bongmabu. As you can see, that turret is now falling very soon after, and it's just non-stop aggression coming out of Snow Avalanche here, just because of the fact that they have that healing coming in from Lyra. Waldemar eating so much damage there. There's the Bright Bulwark being thrown down to slow down the rest of Snow Tsunami. As you can see, Snow Avalanche on full retreat now. And just what does Snow Tsunami have to do to try and turn this game back around?
Well, realistically, they need a Frostburn. Genuinely, they need something to limit the movements of Catherine, because Kentisik right now is just running at the enemy, just soaking up damage, meaning that a lot of the damage is being wasted onto a target that you don't really want to focus. They don't really have any solid way to get to the back line, as opposed to PT Land doing a Suri strike in, but you don't want to Suri strike into a Catherine. That kind of does all the hard work for her. So Scarf is kind of at this point where it's not actually an area where you can touch. You know, you can't actually get to this Scarf easily as Snow Tsunami right now. You can't limit Catherine's movement. You can't Suri strike past Catherine because you do, like I said, you close the gap for her. It's difficult.
And as you can see, we are going to be seeing this character just running right into the face of Snow Tsunami yet again. A nice goop landing onto PT Lamb, a nice step from above as well onto Waldemar. Waldemar eating so much damage, gets taken down by Sosiska. Bashin going to be the next one to fall, and that's going to be Snow Tsunami chasing in onto Kentusik there, as he's on full retreat mode now because they just completely bursted down that little dragon. Unfortunate for them.
Yeah, they did manage to, but that is the one weakness. Like I said, you know, if you do get onto that dragon, he will start to just, that is like the only damage or the only reliable source of late game damage that Snow Avalanche have got. And Snow Tsunami are looking to try and push onto these structures that they have to try and get back to recuperate. Well, they still have a gold lead, actually. I say recuperate, but they favour.
It was just really an unfortunate Kraken take in favor of Snow.
They still actually have a gold lead. Just need to get that turret structure advantage back in there.
Avalanche after a really good fight that they pulled. So that's pretty much where the gold started to even out. But now that it's going back in favor of Snow Tsunami, Snow Avalanche are completely on the back foot here. They know Kraken's not being started, so they allowed Kentusik to just recall back to base, get some more items under his belt. And right now, with the way the game has gone, it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening between Snow Tsunami and Avalanche as far as who's going to be able to pull the trigger to either A, take the Kraken, or B, go for the fight.
Well, Kraken probably has better control for Snow Tsunami, but Bashin goes in. They want to end this now.
And Bombabu eating so much damage there from Waldemar. Waldemar channeling that Dragon's Breath in full, and it's going to get stopped. The active Camo Stun comes in. There's the Versa Judgment. It's going to be Bashin, the first one to fall on the backside of the fight. We do see Bombabu picking up the kill onto Waldemar. Now we are going to see PT Lamb trying to chase down Kentusik. Not going to be finding all that much damage onto him, but right now it's at a point where it's Snow Tsunami's game. It's going to be the Kraken being started up by Snow Tsunami. As you can see, Bongabu actually, oh boy, you don't want to be that close to Kraken. You're going to end up dead, buddy.
Oh, the big issue with that fight was that I think Snow Avalanche thought that, hey, we're on the winning side of things. They rush the Scarf in with the Dragon's Breath. But you're going into actually a fairly tanky Sosiska on this Adagio, and he was able to channel a very effective Verse of Judgment that actually completely annihilated Voldemar in the middle of it, and that just allowed both PT Lam and Bongmabu to focus the right targets, and Bashin and Voldemar went down simultaneously. So it was, again, it was kind of like overconfidence, an overconfident move coming out from Snow Avalanche. So yeah, again, they need to be a little bit more careful. They need to play this like they were playing before. Try and just allow Kentisik to soak the damage. Keep Voldemar in a safe position. Don't overcommit with Dragon's Breath. It's not as impactful as an ability as you might think it is.
And right now it looks like Snow Tsunami looking to try and really pressure in the Snow Avalanche here with this Kraken on their side. And there's the Death from Above being thrown down. The turret is taking so much damage. It's going to be falling right now. The Kraken is still so low and just taking so much damage from Waldemar. And PT Lamb also taking a lot of chunk damage from that Scarf. So forced back off completely. They can't even try and maybe force a fight after Kraken falls because they were so low.
No, absolutely. And this is again, this is an awkward situation now for Snow Avalanche, because they seem to be having all the success in the early game, but no success as the game has progressed. And I guess maybe it's because, you know, relying on a singular damage output can be a real issue. Bongmabu going into the backline once more.
Yeah, he's trying to chase down onto Waldemar, not going to be able to connect all that much damage onto him. As you can see, the Blast Tremor also being used by Kentusik there to try and isolate Sosiska. Sosiska taking a bunch of damage. Is the Verse of Judgment going to get channeled, though? He does have it available Death from above does not really do all that much. It's going to be Bongmabu, the first one to fall in this fight. Forward barrage comes in. There's the Versa Judgment, not going to secure any kills, but the forward barrage does secure the kill onto Kentusik. Now that PT Lamb is trying to get some damage onto Waldemar. So Siska getting taken so low. Is he going to get taken down is the question. Waldemar getting caught with that Suri Strike. PT Lamb so low right now. He's going to get taken out. And it's going to be one more kill going over to Waldemar. That's going to be the ace going over in favor of Snow Avalanche.
Wow, they have turned things around right now, Cyberow. I don't know if they can finish the game. It's going to be Bongmabu definitely coming back up alive if they manage to get at least one of these structures. Maybe they have the time that it takes. We've got one turret very lower on this Vein Crystal. They want to take this win. This is going to be Snow Tsunami not making it tomorrow and almost certainly guaranteeing a spot in our bottom 3 if they manage to finish right here, right now.
And it looks like they actually might be able to. They're taking both turrets at the same time. Or eventually. There we go. 1, 2, and that's actually going to only be Bongmabu alive. Bashim going to be throwing down the Bright Bulwark to try and keep him isolated. That's going to be the game going over to Snow Avalanche.
Wow, they managed to turn things around on Snow Avalanche with no mercy for their sister team. I'm going to put Snow Tsunami right down into that dumpster of snow. And they will eventually climb to the top. And they'll be seeing tomorrow our European champions who have had kind of a surprising split compared to how G2 have performed. But then G2 have been the surprise runaways. But they're going to be some amazing games tomorrow, Cyberow.
Definitely. Snow Avalanche really showing why they have absolutely no chill. So to close.